Hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to another one of these daily vlogs. I'm having a lot of fun and doing them, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from you. So, really appreciate your support. Today is April 7. It's a Tuesday. I always have to look at my phone now just because days go flying by. So, today we're not really going to be talking about anything else than to my guest, which you can actually see right now, Tamrin. Um, but first, I do want to mention that if you do want to get the latest information on COVID 19 or the coronavirus, you can go to the CDC website, cdc.gov, or the World Health Organization website, who.int, which you can see there on your screen. So do that. You can also follow your local media sources, your local health officials. Tons of great information. And today, of course, there's going to be more press conferences. So my guest today, as I mentioned, Tamrin Olden. She's a communications and digital marketing consultant for her two companies, and she has a background and specialty with public safety and government. Tamrin, did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it. It's kind of hard to explain, kind of a unique field, but I think you got it.
So yeah, maybe you can explain it a little bit to for everybody watching. What is it that you do?
Sure. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for having me. I know we've been able to connect on social media, and I'm glad we were able to make this happen. So a little bit about my background. I spent 16 years in local government doing communications. So doing social media, media relations, being the liaison to the media. A lot of agencies call it the public information officer. So I did part of that was doing a lot of community outreach and a lot of community relations. 16 years of doing that. And in the meantime, over the past 3 years, developed a love and interest in teaching and consulting. So I've been doing that for the past 3 years through my two companies, Tamrin Olden Consulting and Law Enforcement Social. And now I am blessed with the opportunity to be able to do that full time.
Excellent. Well, and how are you holding up right now during these times?
I, you know, I can look at it two different ways. It depends on what time of the day it is, but I'm very fortunate to be able to work from home. I have two young kids that are 6 and 9, and homeschooling them, meanwhile, running my business is very, very challenging to say the least. Having to, run online school and keep the house clean and my kids fed, because for those of you who have kids, you know that all they do is eat and make a mess all day. And balancing that with having to run my business and having to meet with clients. And it's definitely very challenging, but I would have never had the opportunity to spend this time with my kids otherwise if this situation wasn't happening. So I have to just focus on the positive that I'm able to spend a lot of meaningful time with them, and that I'm fortunate that I could do this because a lot of people don't have the option to stay at home and they're struggling, and or they're staying at home because they don't have a job. So I'm very blessed to be able to do this even despite the challenges.
Exactly. Well, and being a digital marketing consultant, I imagine your job is probably a lot easier than most to do remotely. And what are some of the challenges that you've been finding doing your job from home, just on the technical side, besides taking care of the family and everything, but just on the technical side, anything challenging that you haven't faced before that you've had to overcome?
So just getting the logistics of my workspace initially was a little bit challenging. So I had the flexibility. I do have an office that I have available to work out of. And I meet with a lot of my consultants, or a lot of the companies that I consult with in person. So now being confined to my home, I really needed a dedicated workspace where I could be creative, where I could create content, where my kid stuff isn't laying around everywhere, and where I can be comfortable in work mode. So I didn't have a set up office space before. I even had to call and get my Wi-Fi upgraded because now I'm having to have multiple devices to run internet on between my kids and myself. So just logistically, it was a little bit of a transition. And I had to pull out a lot of my equipment. I have my different mounts and devices and mics that I use to record that I hadn't used in a while. And I had to kind of get all my technology gadgets in place and start using those again. So that was a little bit challenging initially to get things kind of back in the swing of things and get my home office set up logistically.
Well, and by the way, we are starting something new with this split screen here. I'm still getting used to the software because this whole quarantine thing just kind of made me push up the date of when I was going to be doing these live streams. They were going to be out there later on this year, but so I'm still just playing around with the software. But I like the split screen here, and I think you brought a really good point. You said you talked about internet speed, and I think that's what right now a lot more people are using the internet. But me too, I had to upgrade my internet speed, and then I had to hardwire my computer if I was going to be doing live streams like this. Definitely had to bust out some of the old equipment that I had. I started as a news photographer, and so throughout the years, I've collected microphones and lights and you name it, just little things here and there. And so I had to kind of work together to put this whole setup together and do something. But I still have to work on my backdrop. I was complimenting you earlier because you have such a really cool backdrop,
Thank you.
and it really shows the skills that you have as a digital marketing consultant. For anybody out there that's watching that wants to get it's stuck at home, wants to get into the digital game, but doesn't feel like they have everything. What's like the bare bones that you would, in your opinion, suggest for them that they would need to kind of start doing little projects like this, put up digital content on social media platforms?
Your phone can do a lot. So, especially with the newer devices, the quality is great. You can actually go into your camera settings and set your video recording settings to a lot higher. It's set default at about a mid range recording quality. So, a lot of people don't know that. And they would say, how come your phone videos, they look a lot cleaner and smoother and higher resolution than mine? And their phones were the same. And it's because they didn't have their settings done properly. Now, does it take up more space on your phone? Yes, but when you're recording content, digital media content, you want it to be the higher quality. So definitely, if you're going to use your phone, you could do a lot with it. Change those settings. The other thing is audio. I have kids here. I threatened them with taking away their electronic devices if they weren't quiet while I was recording. That seems to do wonders. So they're quarantined in their room on the other side of the house. But I actually would use the wired lapel and actually found that I got better sound quality when I was recording video or doing conferences using Zoom with my AirPods. It's
Mm-hmm.
just me on this end, so that worked for me. If you don't have AirPods, any other type of microphone device is going to be a lot better, cleaner audio than what you're going to get directly from your phone. The last thing I would say is get a mount of some sort. You can get them pretty quickly. I'm a big fan of Archon mounts. They have ones that have a suction cup that you could set on your desk. You can literally put it right up on your window or a wall, and you might find a little corner that looks nice and cozy that has a nice backdrop, but maybe there's not a chair or it doesn't lend itself to you doing a setup to record or to take photos. I like the flexibility that you can use their mounts anywhere and they're very inexpensive. So get a little cheap kit. You could get a lapel on Amazon for $20 if you don't have one and just use a straight wired one. So really just minimal basics. You really don't have to have a lot to create that content. What's going to come into play is what type of content that you're putting out there to bring relevancy and to draw people in to want more and to view your content because people being stuck at home, they're on social media and they're on their phones a lot more. So you can really capitalize on this time to bring in people and to really grow your audience.
That's those are just great points because I think a lot of people a little bit intimidated by not having like the right equipment. They think that they need these fancy equipment. I mean, I don't even have a ring light. A lot of people like to use a ring light, but I don't have that. I'm using a light that I've had for years. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I have white walls, so I'm able to just bounce the light wherever I need to, and I have one more light that I haven't been using because I think this is nice already. But yeah, I think you really made a great point in just your phone being a powerful tool, especially the latest iPhone. I mean, I have an 11 Pro here, but I've shot entire pieces for the news website on just the phone, and even use the iPad Pro to edit everything. It's amazing the technology that's out there right now. Um, and then just kind of switching gears just a little bit, I know that you've been watching also a lot of press conferences out there, just like we all have. Every day there's press conferences, but I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this because I'm just curious. There's all these agencies, all these officials that are having press conferences. Is there something that they could be doing better that the public can benefit from?
I've actually been getting this question a lot. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
agencies, their PIOs, their officials are wondering what they should do, what their message should be, and how they should deliver it. I think that there's a lot of pressure on government agencies right now because eyes are on them. The public is looking to them for some sort of relief, some comfort, some information to be a resource. And this is new. This isn't something that a lot of people have had to deal with at this level in their lifetimes and in their careers. So, some of the things that I would recommend, and this is my biggest thing, I preach it all the time when I teach it with my clients, is make sure that you are authentic, organic, and relatable. Now, how do we do that when we're trying to give out factual information and when it's such a serious topic? Simple things such as not reading directly and obviously from a script, maybe not wearing a full suit, or for those in public safety, a class A, tie and long sleeve uniform. What I'm loving and the things that I'm liking is the agencies that's showing their official and maybe a branded windbreaker jacket or a polo shirt where it's like they're having a conversation with the community, where it kind of takes that edge off of, hey, we're the government and you guys are the community, and it makes people relate and be drawn in more to their message when they don't use a lot of jargon that people don't understand. And it really helps lend itself to building trust between the community and government officials. And that's something that has been a struggle for as long as I've been in the profession. And I'm sure, and I know even before that, is that there's a lack of trust. And by making yourself more relatable, by speaking more organically and naturally, and even coming off personally and visually in a more relatable fashion, people will listen to your message a lot more. The second thing that I'm telling people is give a piece of content that is different than what's being put out there. Because I'm sure you guys have all seen, every time you scroll through social media or every time you change the channel and watch the news, it's a government official repeating the same thing. They're saying the same identical message. So the president or maybe the mayor or the governor gives out a statement. And then each agency repeats the same exact statement that we just saw by the higher level government official. What people need to know and what's going to make your message different is adding some sort of value that brings them in, brings the local community in. So, talk about some of the measures that your agency is taking specifically. Highlight some of the good works. I know COVID kindness is a big thing that's circulating out there in the
Mm-hmm.
community, and really get that personal touch where people can relate when you say this hospital or this grocery store down the street or this little league group donated or this mom's group made masks. And when you highlight and bring in the community, it really does unite them, and it really does give a different spin on your message. It makes it unique and it makes it not repetitive to where people are over listening to your agency's messages because it's really just the same thing that they already heard. So really add that unique touch and bring people a sense of comfort and relief as much as you can, and letting them know that you're doing everything you can to take these safety measures and precautions and health measures seriously, but you're also protecting them. You're also serving in a public safety capacity, and you are united with your community partners to ensure that that everybody's needs are met and that you're being a viable resource to those who need it.
No, that's great. Very important information for anybody watching this, especially the law enforcement community and all the officials that are holding press briefings every day. You're totally right when you said they these messages do become monotonous after a while because everybody's doing the same thing. They kind of look the same and they sound the same. So a lot of people tend to tune out when that happens. But there's daily briefings now, and yesterday there was one, at least the first one that I've seen, where the LA Mayor Eric Garcetti was at the Office of Emergency Services, I believe, and there was a totally different setup, different scenario. He had it wasn't just himself. He had the chief of police and the chief of the fire department. They just added this whole new different level or component to the press briefings that he would normally hold, and that really caught my attention from beginning to end. I couldn't stop watching it. So I think you made such a great point. Before we switch over to more of like the personal side, I do have a little game that I want to play with you. I just call it like
Oh, fun.
your yeah. It's just a little rapid fire questionnaire that's your favorites basically. It's like your favorite this,
Ooh,
your favorite
fun.
that, just so we can get
Okay.
to know you a little bit more. But before we do that, is there anything else that you want to add to just any a professional message to everybody watching this that includes law enforcement, public safety officials, or anybody else that you want to directly send a message to that you haven't
So I want to,
mentioned? Hmm.
right. Sorry about that. So I wanted to really, really emphasize a point that I have been preaching for so long. And this is not any way to bash or to speak negatively about any of the agencies because everybody is struggling. This is something that people have not had to deal with. And it is challenges that people really haven't been able to prepare for properly. We're all in the same boat. Every agency that I'm working with, they're all dealing with the same challenges. But one of the things that I've been talking about for a long time is the fact that when it comes to government and public safety specifically, they have always been behind the curve when it comes to communications, social media, and media relations. Have they made progress over the past several years? Absolutely. We went from generation and a culture of don't talk to the media and not being transparent and not having presence on social media to now that's more the norm, which is amazing. But when it comes to training, staffing, budgets, and equipment, I can tell you that communications is the group of people who get the least amount of support. And it is something that is cultural. It is something that is shifting, but not quick enough. And now these agencies are heavily relying on their communications professionals to step up during these times and really steer the ship. And a lot of them, unfortunately, aren't properly trained and aren't properly equipped to do that. And this is now a great time more than ever to kind of revisit your strategy and what type of priority you're giving communications in your department. And this should be an eye-opening experience. And this is coming from feedback that I'm receiving from different agencies who are telling me, oh my goodness, I was not prepared for this. Had I have known, I would have done X, Y, and Z. So this is a great opportunity to really step up and support your communications professionals, give them the training support that they need, so that way we are better prepared to deal with crisis communications of any sort should they come up in the future.
Well said. Thank you for that message, Tamrin. I think that's really important what you just said, and I hope that these communication groups take heed of that advice and do what they need to. This is just unprecedented times we're in, but we do want to have a little bit of fun as well, and so that's why we're moving over to a game that I just love. Your favorites. Are you ready?
I am ready. This is going to be fun.
All right. So this is just rapid fire, just to get folks to know you a little bit more on the personal side. We'll start with your favorite color.
Black.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
I
This is the
know.
the first response. I
A
wasn't
little
expecting that.
dark. I know. I am a pretty happy and outgoing person, but I do wear black and like black. My toenails are black. That's kind of my color. So
Favorite ice cream.
right now, I'm a big ice cream fan, but right now I'm loving pistachio. Is that weird? I went
No.
to Thrifties and it was the only thing that was left the other day because nobody likes it except me. I don't know.
Wow. Really? Well, I love pistachio. I don't know what people have against pistachio. It's
Yeah, I
really
like it.
good.
Yeah.
Favorite song.
Hmm, that's hard. I listen to everything. I would say, hmm,
How about this? What song is stuck in your mind currently?
well, right now it is Aerosmith Dream On because that's what I just listened to when I was riding my Peloton and I did my classic rock ride. So I hadn't heard
Mm,
that in a while. And Aerosmith was actually the first concert I ever went to. So that one kind of
wow.
brought back some memories and stuck in my head.
Oh wow. Excellent. Yeah, I love that song too. Favorite dish to cook?
I like, hmm, probably pastas and Italian food. I
Hmm.
know not the healthiest for me, but last night I made a creamy chicken Italian pasta and my kids loved it and it was easy enough to make. So I would say probably Italian food.
I love that. Favorite article of clothing to wear?
Workout pants. There's nothing
Yeah.
like a pair of good workout pants and they're so comfortable and not as restrictive, especially when you're stuck at home on quarantine and eating a lot of things that
Yeah.
you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Mickey Mouse sweater, Disneyland sweater that I bought years and years ago, and I love that thing. I love wearing that thing.
Yes. Anything comfortable, right?
Yes, yes. The comfort factor is really important.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite saying?
My favorite saying, ooh, that's a different one. I would have to say
Mhm.
right now, my favorite saying that keeps repeating over and over is "Be still." And actually, I have a tattoo of it, and um, it's comes from it's a biblical reference. But in these times where we are stuck at home, where we are forced to not go anywhere, where we're so restricted, I keep thinking about taking an opportunity to just be still, to relax, to not be distracted, to regain focus, and just take an opportunity to be still. So that's probably one of my favorite things.
I love that. What is your favorite movie?
I like for a funny movie, I like the old school movies. So I like Sandlot. That's a classic that I really like that I'll watch over and over again. And I love Wedding Singer because I love 80s music. So that's one of my favorites.
Favorite TV show?
Right now, I'm binging on Ozark. I just started season one and I'm
Oh,
almost done. So I did a little poll on social media and said, what should I watch? So I got through Tiger King, which everybody kind of watched, and that was very interesting to say the least. And then now my favorite right now, and I'm hooked, is on Ozark.
what about Tiger King hooked you? What did you find most
I kept
interesting about
saying
it?
to myself, like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, is this a joke? Is this, a prank? Are they making this stuff up? Just the absolute absurd nature of the people and the characters who are in that show that kept me like how much worse can it get? What other obnoxious, ridiculous, outlandish thing is going to come next? And that's what kept me hooked and kept me watching.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw the trailer, I saw Joe Exotic being pulled or dragged by one of the big cats. I'm like, oh, now I gotta watch it. Like, what
I
happens?
know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and now all the memes that are going around, I just love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Tamrin, what is your favorite time of the day?
I love the morning. I'm a morning person, so I get up before the rest of my family. I have my coffee, my quiet time. I like silence, so I love just the sunrise and the natural light coming into the house, and just sitting and having my coffee in silence and getting my day going. So I definitely am a morning person. I love the morning time.
Very nice. And how about favorite season?
I love warm weather, so it would have to be summer. Even though it does get so hot here in Southern California, I love summer, I love sunshine, I love swimming, I love the beach and a good tan. So, which is quickly fading over here.
Um, are you a Mac or PC
Oh,
fan?
definitely Mac. Definitely Mac. Yes.
Good, good. All right. And lastly, what is your favorite Instagram feature?
I'm a big fan of stories. So I spend most of my time soliciting engagement and focusing my engagement strategy on Instagram stories. I love that you could use the different stickers and the polls and the questions to really get people to continue to watch. And I've been able to see more engagement on my stories posts than my feed posts because I'm able to spend a lot of time in there. But I love all the options and features and the fun things that you could do in Instagram stories.
I love that. Tamron, thank you for joining me on the vlog. Before we wrap it up, is there anything that you want to end with? Anything we didn't discuss? I just want to give you the last word.
So, my last thing that I would say to all of you content creators out there, regardless of what sector that you come from, regardless if you're in digital marketing or you are in government, use this opportunity, capitalize on this opportunity to really be creative, to try new things, to perfect your skills, and to really come back after this with a new strategy, with fresh content, and being able to take your skills to the next level. Rest if you have to, take care of yourself and your family and your health is priority, of course, but really use this opportunity to make a quick pivot, to focus on something new, and really, really take what you're doing to the next level.
I love that. And Tamron, thank you so much for playing our little game. That was a lot of fun,
Thank
and
you. That was fun, interesting.
and thank you again for coming on here. I think your expertise was really needed for just a lot of what's going on now. I mean, a lot of computer parts are being sold and out of stock because people are wanting to put out more social content out there. So I really do want to thank you for just taking time to come on here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for everybody out there, thank you for watching and tuning in to this live broadcast. I'm also going to be uploading this clip onto YouTube. So if you're seeing it live, thank you. If you're seeing it after, thank you as well. And if you are looking for more information on COVID-19, just go to the websites you see there on your screen, cdc.gov and then who.int. They have tons of great resources for you. I've seen some guidelines, easy to print guides on how to do certain things, like if you go grocery shopping, how to uh, come back home with your groceries and be careful not to really bring anything foreign into your home. So just tons of great resources. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me there on Instagram at ofloresnews or my Twitter account at oflores. I usually post a lot of content, news updates on my Twitter and Facebook page. And Instagram, it's a little bit more fun for me, so I post a lot of cool other little content there as well. So again, thank you everybody for watching, and stay safe. Get some fresh air, and yeah. Until next time, take care. Have a great day. We'll talk soon.